Chinese democracy.
You're a little bit crazy.
Well, I'm usually crazy for a good cause.
How I Met Your Mother's leading man, Ted Mosby, is one of the most insufferable romantic leads to ever grace our television screens, and I will tell you why. Because Ted Evelyn Mosby is serious. Ted was never interested in the love or serious commitment he claimed to be searching for the majority of the show's run, unless he could get it with Robin. And even then, there's an argument to be made that the only reason he refused to climb off Robin's dick is because he knew the commitment he was pretending to want from her was never truly on the table. But that's a conversation for another day and another video. The point is, Ted was a romantic terrorist hell-bent on wasting the time of every woman in Manhattan. I knew Ted was an unserious the moment he met his dream woman in Victoria and started playing in her face. I knew Ted was unserious when he harassed Stella for 10 weeks until she agreed to the serious relationship he begged for, only for him to immediately dump her the moment she tried to make plans with him months into the future. But as unserious as I already knew Ted was, he was never more unserious in his life than the time he entertained flushing his entire career down the toilet for another man's nut-ass wife and her bullshit crusade. Yes, y'all heard me. I said nut-ass wife and bullshit crusade. For anyone going, oh my God, Olay, you don't care about saving old buildings? You don't think the Arcadian should have been a historical landmark? I'm here to tell y'all that Zoey didn't give a about saving old buildings and making the Arcadian a historical landmark. Because if she did, her #1 priority would not have been to the designing the building it's being torn down for.
Find the bastards at GMB responsible for this, and I promise you, I will take them down.
By take them down, she meant leave her husband for them. Let me tell y'all something right now. Hear me and hear me good. If neither your husband nor your alleged principals can stop you from f***ing your literal op, you are not a bitch I can respect. And that's that on that. If you don't count Ted's relationship with his college girlfriend Karen that routinely broke up with him, or his crazy ass police officer girlfriend Janine, which I don't, I count neither one of those irrelevant ass relationships. Zoey is Ted's absolute worst girlfriend and worst relationship. I hate Zoey. And the only person I hate more than Zoey was Ted for entertaining Zoey. Let's talk about it. Run the theme song, Aaron.
Black independent, strongest in women. It's Olay, it's Olay, it's Olay, it's Olay now. I know that I'm worth it, so make sure to listen. It's Olay, it's Olay, it's Olay, it's Olay.
With the exception of sleeping with, falling in love with, and marrying the love of Ted's life, Barney is who always looked out for Ted. Everyone in the gang really, but especially Ted. Barney has gone out of his way for Ted many a time, but there is one example greater than all the rest. Imagine being Ted, a young architect, working at an architecture firm that didn't respect you, nor appreciate you, nor gave you much opportunity for growth. And your best friend moves mountains to get you the opportunity of a lifetime. The chance to be the youngest architect to ever design a skyscraper in New York City. Now, imagine being Barney, the who gifted his friend the opportunity he's dreamed of his entire life. And your friend repays you by quitting because he had one singular conversation with a random bitch he met on the street in the dead of night who wanted to save the old, dilapidated, uninhabitable piece of shit building that's currently occupying the land that his skyscraper will be built on.
Zoey does what she believes is right, and I want to do the same thing. We have to find a new site for this building.
Ted, that is never gonna happen.
Well, I can't tear down the Arcadian. I'm sorry, but I'm off the project.
If you've ever wondered why Barney could have proposed to Robin on any day of the year, but he chose the night of the grand opening of the building he gave Ted the opportunity to design, well, look no further than the time Ted's ungrateful ass spit in Barney's face running behind woman. Let me tell y'all something. I could not believe Zoey was the woman How I Met Your Mother writers chose to force on us, because I don't even like Ted, but I knew that egregious ass woman could not be who God had for him. I have to walk y'all through it so you understand the magnitude in which Zoey wasn't shit. Zoey is married, you hear me? And not separated or none of that cute shit. Married, bitch. And she married to big money. My boy, the captain. And the captain was paid by Kyle MacLachlan? The captain was played by Kyle MacLachlan, who will eventually be a legend on this channel because our boy played Charlotte York's impotent husband, Trey McDougal, on Sex and the City. He played Bree Vanderkamp's nut-ass husband, Orson Hodge, on Desperate Housewives. And my favorite of all the roles, the captain on How I Met Your Mother. Ted and all his delusional, hating-ass friends stay slandering my boy the captain, who is doing nothing but being pleasant to the group of scallywags his trifling-ass wife picked up and brought around him.
Zoey was married to the captain.
Boys, great to see you. Looking smart. Have a wonderful time tonight, okay? Okay.
That man is terrifying. Everything he said was nice, but I'm profoundly scared.
Keep smiling, you can still see it.
As is always the case when a woman Ted likes is involved in another man, Ted is unable to fathom how this could be. So he spends much time convincing himself there must be some explanation for why Zoey would be with the captain, a much better looking and significantly richer man than Ted. So he proceeded to hate on my man every chance he got.
And you were right. He's a nice guy. I mean, he can be a little scary.
Yeah, he gets a little murdery when he's nervous.
Yeah, he's a creepy dude, but I like him.
Dirty Mackin to the extreme, you hear me? They try to act like Zoe's some kind of reluctant prisoner in her marriage, like the bitch was a child bride living under the impression of a crazy boatman or something.
You were right. Something weird happened with Zoey last night.
Oh, that's the captain. Yes, I call my husband the captain, but that is the only concession I make to his seafaring ways.
This is a grown-ass woman who married her a rich-ass man who literally just sails his boats and lets her do what she wants. She don't even gotta work. The captain ain't do nothing to Zoey to deserve the type of slackness she was on. In fact, he was facilitating so comfy of a life for her that she had time to be harassing a man she wanna under the guise of saving a funky-ass building. And when I say Zoey was harassing Ted, I do mean criminal level harassment. I want y'all to know that protesting the destruction of the Arcadian would never, ever require that she exclusively harass the project's architect, who wouldn't have shit to do with where Goliath National Bank decided to build the building, by the way. But once Ted realizes she's married and quickly puts in the trash the entire new building design he'd gone to the trouble of making to try to appease this gal, as though he had any liberty to change GMB's approved design to something that'd float the boat of this random bitch on the road. Y'all hearing the nimble gymnastics Ted was prepared to do for a gal he didn't know from nowhere? But anyhow, Ted finally decides appropriately, you know what? Fuck this lady.
What do you have to say for yourself? Tearing down a beautiful old building just to put up a stupid bank headquarters.
Boo freaking who?
Boo freaking who? That's it? The Arcadian is an architecturally significant...
Architecturally significant. Zoey, you're very pretty. Your hair smells great.
Shampoo. You should try it sometime.
You don't know the first thing about architecture. I'm a professor, okay? I teach this stuff at one of the best colleges in the country. I don't go down to your place of non-employment and lecture you about how your little protest is a misguided waste of time, except, whoops, I just did. A bird.
So what does Zoey decide to do? This woman decides to take her ass down to NYU, to Ted's class he teaches, you know, like a college and a class she's not rolled in, and she starts turning Ted's students against him.
What's the Arcadian? Oh, it's just this beautiful old building that Professor Mosby wants to tear down.
What? No, Professor Mosby loves old buildings. He wouldn't do that. Right, Ted?
Getting back to Greek revival. Guys, prop rock is a really good mix, okay?
A piece of New York history is being torn down, and all you could say was boo freaking who?
But rather than Ted call security on this adult Looney Tune bird that's trespassing on a college campus and fail each and everybody in the classroom talking shit with her, this is the beginning of a series of bullshit events to show forces on us. And boy, do I mean forced. Now let's think about this. Ted's friends quite literally did not like damn near anyone he dated but Robin. And even then, Barney wanted her for himself and Lily never saw it for Robin and Ted. In fact, despite loving both Ted and Robin, Lily has engineered their breakup before because Lily took who Ted ended up with more serious than he did half the time. And she was very obsessed with the idea of the person Ted marrying being someone likable enough for her to be hanging out with them on the porch in their old age. So please, tell me how the How I Met Your Mother writers wanted me to believe that Ted's hating ass friends were voluntarily hanging out with Zoey without him. A married woman they know was playing up in Ted's face, and now she's harassing him and actively trying to destroy every facet of his career. She's protesting the man's GMB building and trying to ruin his reputation at NYU. That's the woman. That's the woman that was just so cool. The gang had to hang out with her and couldn't help but liking her.
Wrong answer, forehead.
There was nothing realistic about this storyline. There is no world in which this historically reclusive little friend group would just up and start hanging out with a woman Ted has beef with for very legitimate reasons and like her so much. They plead with Ted to let her be in the friend group as though this woman getting her way in this world wouldn't destroy Ted's livelihood. And yet, that's what they wanted us to believe. So much so that they had this contrived ass storyline where Ted missed some night full of fun. It's the Blitz episode that Zoey was somehow a part of. Oh, off. But the reason that they do this bullshit is so that they can do further bullshit, which is they have Ted's friends basically force him to be friends with Zoey, and then everyone pretends like they don't all know Zoey is only there to get with Ted. Like they actually go to the trouble of acting like Ted and Zoey's feelings for each other is a big secret that Marshall had to discover so he could push them together only after she and the captain separated.
So we got Ted and Zoey. Ted is in love with Zoey. Zoey has no idea. Then Zoey's cousin Honey went home with Barney, and Zoey was happy about it, which tells us what? Zoey's in love with Ted, and Ted doesn't know. So Ted and Zoey, they're in love with each other, which would be fine if Zoey wasn't married to Colonel Mustard. I mean, the captain. As Honey informs me.
And we miss you, but the cousin thing mostly. Let's get that going.
Fine, I will make it happen.
Zoey and the captain are getting divorced.
This shit pissed me clean off. Trying to pretend like Ted and Zoey were platonic friends who didn't know they had feelings for each other till after the split. Like, what the f are we talking about? They knew exactly what was going. What the f?
I'm just out with friends.
Friends, plural. Like there was more than one of me.
She lied to her husband? Uh-oh. What did you do?
Zoey, did you just say you were out with friends?
Yeah, the captain's on his way home from Milan. He can get a little jealous sometimes, so I didn't want to make him worry.
This is a bitch who Ted only engaged in the first place because he liked her. And she has only chosen to force herself into his life and friend circle because she wants him. That is not his friend. They have never been friends. In fact, they're enemies. And he would be acknowledging her as such if he didn't want to her. Let me explain something to y'all. If a 30-year-old married woman is running around the streets behind a man who is not her husband, and then she leaves said husband to be with that man, that bitch is not in the clear, and neither is Ted. They both knew what the they were doing, but only Zoey want to cop to it. Look at Ted really fixing his mouth to try to play like he didn't know that she left the captain for him.
Listen, Zoey, I need to ask you something. Did I steal you?
Well, yeah. Did. By being the kind of sweet, thoughtful guy who'd never even think of stealing someone.
All right, look here. And this is a perfect moment to address the people who like to kick Stella and Tony's back in and cry about how she left Ted at the altar for Tony and then they went and made a bunch of money off of movie slandering Ted. I am here to remind y'all that on top of the fact that Ted did the exact same thing with Victoria to Klaus that Stella and Tony did to him, he also was fully creased up in the captain's face. No one was tangs with that man wife.
Zoey left me for another man. Wow. Do you have any idea who it could be?
Do not ever waste your time feeling bad for Ted Mosby because Ted Mosby has never experienced pain he did not deserve.
What's this really about?
I told you, Lily hates you.
I think you hate me. I think you have some big problem with me and you're too chicken to come out and say it.
All right. Yes, I hate you.
Great. See? That's so hard.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Like, what the f are we doing? Are we adults? Am I in the upside down? Do you know how silly that shit was? Ted decides that he can no longer be friends with Zoey because he has feelings for her, as though they were ever friends. But this big grown man can't tell this random bitch he met who's trying to destroy his career that he can't be friends with her no more. So he tells her that he can't be friends with her because Lily hates her. And this adult bitch with a husband at home marches over to another man's house to confront him about not wanting to be friends with her no more.
Can you at least tell me why? I'm racking my brain here and I thought, just want to know why.
I'm confused trying to figure out what she's confused about. This is the one time me and Ted ever been on the exact same page.
Why do I hate you? Are you kidding? You're actively trying to prevent me from realizing a lifelong dream, so there's that.
But unfortunately, neither Ted nor anyone in his friend group but Barney truly cares at all about the fact that this woman ain't no good for Ted in a number of ways. In what planet could a woman who left her husband because she met a man in the alley one night be the woman who's gonna do life with Ted? That's the mother? Is the bitch currently demonstrating the ability to do life with the man she already pledged to do life with?
You're not just wrong, you're stupid.
And I do not care about how they try to portray the captain like some old, out-of-touch man who only into boats that she has nothing in common with and don't make sense for. Because who am I supposed to believe is a better fit for her? Ted? The man she is so fundamentally misaligned from that she's quite literally protesting him? Let's use our noodles. And on top of that, she's actively his real life op. But unfortunately, ain't nobody got no sense. Ted's only problem is that he cannot bear to be around her anymore without telling her how he feels because he thinks she's still married and he's pretending to care about that. Heavy on the pretending. So the minute Marshall gives him the green light, so begun Ted's most dead-end relationship.
Hey, Marshall, can I call you back? I'm out in the hallway with... She is? She is? Marshall, I gotta go.
Oh, tomato, tomato, tomato. When I say this was Ted's most dead-end relationship, emphasis on dead end, because this shit wasn't going nowhere.
How did we meet?
Oh, Ted, she doesn't...
No. It's a cute story. Once upon a time, Zoey was married to this super rich, super creepy guy called the Captain. So when Zoey and I became friends, I was careful not to cross any lines. I know, right? And one day, Zoey and the Captain had a huge fight, flipped out, and demanded a divorce. She was heartbroken. But after a little soul searching, she ended up back in my life. And the rest, they say, is history.
Despite that romantic fiction you just heard come out of Ted's mouth, the deck of cards that was their relationship starts coming down quickly after Zoey moves to have the Arcadian turned into a historical landmark, which would effectively dead the projects and the dreams of the man she claims to love. But never mind the alleged love of her life. Her priority is saving this musty-ass building she couldn't survive a night in. But Ted is such a bitch-ass that for a minute, he really convinced himself he was gonna show up at the hearing and support Zoey's bullshit. But when he doesn't, because Barney forced him to come to his senses, this gal runs up on the stage to play a recording that she promised him she deleted that could have gotten him fired and blacklisted. And not just him fired, mind you, because I want us all to think about what would have happened to Barney's job if Ted and Ted's gal this up. After Barney went to the mat to get Ted an opportunity he probably was not qualified for. Ted is selfish and inconsiderate, you hear me? And while Zoey thought she really had Ted backed into a corner, she thought she got the drop on my man with that audio recording, Barney said F that. Because the only thing that would have made that raggedy building a landmark was the lion stone head on the front of the building. So my Barney stole it. And G&B prevailed, and Zoey and Ted finally put their relationship in the trash where it belonged. Oh shit, I stopped recording and literally unplugged the mic and the camera and the box lights before I remembered. I wanted to show y'all my new jewelry because one of the Illuminati pop watchers, I think in England, reached out to me to tell me that they love my videos, and they sent me this Bahamian necklace, and this custom made. This is the shape of the island, and I'm from Nassau, and I just love it so much. This is not a ad, it's not a promo. They didn't ask me to do it. It's not like anything. They just sent it to me out of like the kindness of their heart, and I love it so much. So not only am I always going to be wearing it, but please, Aaron, show their information at the bottom here. I love y'all. Thank you so much for this. Oh.